Hey there, Max Rich with Totally Electric Guitars. Today, we're talking about the altered scale and what you can do with it. What is the altered scale? What kind of chords does an altered scale fit over? Basically, if you've ever played in a real book or if you're in any way familiar with jazz, you might have come across some chord change that says something like B7 altered or D7 altered or something 7 altered, ALT. And basically, to go a very quick route, what an altered chord is a way of playing a dominant chord with all kinds of very outside extensions on top of it. You know, if you're going to play like a regular dominant chord, you know, and to play something over that, you really generally want to, you know, play Mixolydian or something like that, or if you're going to do an arpeggio, outline the chord. Some more complicated versions of dominant chords can be found in, you know, a bunch of lessons that I've done. You know, maybe you'll find like a 13 chord like this, or a substitute for a dominant is like a half diminished chord. And if all this sounds totally foreign to you, I really suggest you run back and take a look at some dominant chord lessons, because it'll really kind of help bring you up to speed. But if you are there and you're saying, okay, I've seen this altered scale, this altered, you know, chord in my charts, how do I play over it? Well, basically, what I'm going to tell you today is the types of altered chords and certain ways of playing what is an altered chord, and how can you make a regular dominant 7 chord into an altered chord, and then what sorts of scales can you play over it, and how best, in my mind, to go about thinking about the scale. Because let's face it, everyone has their own unique way of maybe visualizing and approaching like the mental process of this kind of stuff, because it's very cerebral. You have to really think a lot when you're playing jazz. And if you're unaccustomed to playing through chord changes and switching keys, you know, from one chord to the next, you know, all the notes sometimes change, it's going to be pretty difficult. But if you do have a bit of a grasp, I'm going to try to simplify it for you so that you can just say, oh, boom, I hear that. That's a really outside chord. It's an altered chord, altered 7 chord. I can hear that. Now what do I do? How do I highlight those extra notes that are in there? So I'm here to show you that. So let's get going.